This video will give you a brief overview of how to use the disk management to edit disks, disk space, and other options in Windows, how to access the disk manager, and how to change a letter on a volume in Windows 7. So to access disk manager, we go ahead and click Start, right click on Computer, and click Manage. And it will go ahead and bring up the computer management window. If we go ahead and click down to storage and click on disk management and double click on that, what it does is it go ahead and it brings up the disk management window. So what you see here is you see up here at the top, you see all of the configured usable volumes in Windows currently. All this shows is volumes that Windows has access to be able to use. So you can see here that we have C and volume E, but if you go down here and look at this window contains all of the disks that are physically plugged into the Windows 7 to the physical computer that Windows 7 detects. So you can see in this particular computer we have the basic 60 gigabyte disk, and then we have disk 1 that is a volume. Here is 1 gigabyte volume, and then we have down here we have disk 2 that is a 3 gigabyte volume, and we have disk 3 that is a 1 gigabyte volume, and we have the CD-ROM drive. And as there's nothing in the CD-ROM drive, there's nothing shown here. So if we go back up here, we can determine, so we can see that this particular C disk is just a 60 gigabyte disk, and if we click on the properties on it, it takes us to the C properties, and we can see that it is just a basic disk that has been used 9 gigabytes, used 50 gigabytes available. If we go down here, we can see that volume E. So what this shows us is volume E is what we call a mirrored volume. So anything that I copy onto this disk here will automatically be copied onto this disk here. So should this disk fail, I'll still have access to the data here. So that is what we call a RAID type setup. It is mirrored, it is fully redundant. So let's say we created this volume, it's volume E, and that's the next one that came in line, but let's say for some reason we wanted to make it volume W. How would we do that? So all we do is right click on the volume and we click change drive letter and paths, and we see E, and we do change, and we do assign following drive letter, and we go to W, and we hit OK. And let's say there were programs that were installed to go to drive E. Those programs would no longer work at this time because drive E is no longer a valid path in Windows, so you would actually have to go in and physically reset those. I have nothing attached to this, so we'll go ahead and click yes. And we wait just 1 minute, and we have a new volume, and you'll see new volume W has appeared. And if we go up here and click refresh, you'll see new volume W is now, so same volume, but is now named new volume W. So that's just a very brief overview of disk management and some of the things you can do in it. We will be going into greater detail of disk management in later videos.